Hello everybody, welcome to the weekly series, and today we are going to be talking about the S&P 500 January barometer for 2026. On the screen you have these candles. The candles are the S&P 500 on daily, and then these yellow bars, this is the January barometer 2026. I'm gonna walk you through it. But before I do, I will disable the January barometer for 2026 and I will enable 2025. And that was very stunning, the way it was correct, as you can see. And I will now disable it and I will enable the January barometer for 2024. So when you look at this is the 2024 barometer. When you look at this, there are some quite serious deviations, sometimes up, and the barometer was actually down. But overall, the whole trend, and even the last quarter, just look at this, actually second half of 2024, just look at how accurate that was. Like, you could basically trade it to the candle, kind of, or like on a weekly basis, and you could basically generally win. So this is on 2024. Now let's go to 2023. And again, I can't believe this. This is the January barometer for 2023. Of course, we have some deviations. We went up instead of down somewhere. But overall, the whole year, when you look at that, it was showing steady increase throughout the year. Absolutely beautiful. And now 2022. And this is my favorite also. I wish I was following 2022 back in the day, because back in the January in 2022, this barometer freaking showed us exactly what's gonna be happening throughout the year. And it even showed us this terrible decline in August and September, and then look at the Q4, how consistent again. So that's why I wanted to open up with just studying of the previous barometers, because I really want to prove my point that this is very important for you to watch and for you to remember. And even though I expect this to be crowded this year, because last year the January barometer really made headlines, so I expect this to be crowded, but it's going to be probably just like the 4-year cycle for crypto, a self-fulfilling prophecy. And at the same time, also, markets are cyclical. So, you don't go against cycles. You don't go against these things. You generally want to do your own data, your own charts, where you discover what part of the cycle we are, and then trade accordingly. And not to counter trade just because other people are also looking at these cycles. So overall, I expect this January barometer to be correct overall. Of course, there are going to be some deviations, and we can already see a deviation in January because the barometer was showing down and come back up, and January is pretty much up. January was reasonably good, okay? So there is going to be some deviations, and right now the barometer is showing up until actually throughout the February. And I think February could be actually down. And also the reason why I think so is because February is seasonally pretty poor-ish month, sideways-ish month, okay? So it's March that is seasonally strong, and the barometer is showing weak March. But what I think is going to be happening, that March is going to be strong. But anyway, even though there's going to be these deviations on a monthly basis, overall, when you look at the structure, I think this is going to work out, okay? What's the important takeaway? And now take the notes, guys. Take these notes. I'm gonna write them for you. So, point number one. Top, or first yearly top for S&P 500 around start of May-ish, okay? It could be the end of April, depends on what kind of front running is going to be there, something like that. Then sideways for the rest of Q2. Okay, this is a sideways for the rest of Q2, but generally downtrending sideways, but no new all-time high. That's also a good point to take away. Number 3, correction that will look like a crash around the start of Q3. This is kind of a surprise for me because I would expect that we're going to have a crash around the midterm elections, but the January barometer is showing us it's going to happen in the summer. Summertime. Not good times to be on holidays, guys. I suggest you bring your computers if you go to holidays this summer. Another important point, and I can't believe what I'm saying here, because I would not dare to think that after we've just had a V-shaped recovery in 2025, I would not dare to predict that we are going to have yet another V-shaped recovery. V-shaped recovery in September, October. This is really shocker. It even shows that September, actually, maybe September, it's showing actually beautifully sideways. What? It even respects that September is pretty poor month. So August parabolic, September sideways, and October parabolic. Holy moly. It actually makes sense. August, September, October. V-shaped recovery. All-time high. Start of Q4. Shocking, guys. Again, V-shape. Maybe. At least that's what the barometer is showing. I didn't make this up. I didn't make this shit up. Okay, another total yearly top around midterm elections. And last point, correction in after midterms. Actually, yeah, this is a correction after midterms, and then the December reasonably poor, to be honest. So these are the points that I believe that we should take away from this January barometer, and of course we can come back to it. I will be very happy if you call me out if something is wrong, but also if something is correct. And this is going to be important this year. Mark my words, write down your notes, and let's continue to watch this as we are going to be progressing together. I will definitely be coming to this throughout the year.